Well, hi all, welcome back to the channel. Well, you find us at the southern end of the Dades Gorge. We're heading north over the high Atlas Mountains where it gets a little bit tight in places. Love to know your thoughts, leave us a comment. But for now, let's go. We're the Gapticators Phil and Izzy. We've been full-time travellers since 2018. Join us on our road trip adventures as we explore the world. And for weekly updates, subscribe, like, and turn on that bell notification. Okay, so we're just leaving the riverbed, which is fine. A bit bumpy in places, but it's okay. Not a drop of rain, which was excellent, and we're looking forward to the gorge today. Still a bit hazy out there.
It is, isn't it?
Which is a bit of a shame, really. But yeah, just reading about the gorge last night, it was absolutely fascinating. Millions of years ago, it was a riverbed, and then the whole sort of earth pushed and realigned and did its thing and sort of pushed up into mountains. The river Dades flows through the gorge. That comes from the high Atlas Mountains. It's 220 miles long, but basically it's all sediment. That was the interesting bit, that it's sediment, so it's a mixture of limestone and sandstone. So they've got these sort of steep canyons, steep walls if you like. You alright?
I'm alright.
Okay.
Glad the wind has calmed down a bit.
Yeah. So yeah, it's alright. There's a little sort of track through here, so
The track's okay.
it's
yeah.
fine, the track.
What I don't like is when Phil decides to drive over every boulder in sight.
Oh yeah, because they really choose to do that all the time. Well, I don't know if you can really see it today because the light is doing sort of funny things. But the riverbed, I mean, is clearly just gives life here because the contrast between the green that sort of flows along it and the Barra Mountains is quite incredible, and you've got this really, really distinct red, almost pinky rock, and clearly a lot of the buildings are sort of made from that as well.
With the dust on the road from it though.
Yeah, see that?
It must be a constant factor of life here.
Yeah. So the gorge itself it takes about just over an hour. The road keeps going, but the main sort of area known as the Dades Gorge isn't actually that long. But yeah, very, very interesting. Actually, there's a lot of traffic on this road as well. It's a real tourist attraction in itself, but I've seen lots of bikes today. And lots of minibuses, clearly lots of tourists come here. Well, we're just totally blown away by these rock formations. In fact, I think we're going to stop here.
Look at those.
Yeah, it's incredible. Well, yeah, lots of people here just appreciating nature at its finest. It's just incredible, isn't it?
It just stretches along the gorge for a mile, maybe a bit more.
Well, there's no doubt that water is life here. I mean, to my right is the river. It's quite a flow on, actually. I'm quite surprised still how much water is in the river. But all the way along here, there's just ladies carrying huge packs of, I don't know if it's herbs or exactly what it is. And there's men in the fields who are, in fields of crops, preparing the land. And it's just fascinating driving through and sort of seeing it firsthand. Well, all the way along here, there's just hundreds and hundreds of fig trees.
England, really?
Yeah.
Ireland.
Hi.
Nice.
He's the driver.
Yeah, this is my dream.
Really?
Yes.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I saw you from down there, so I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Where
I'm
are you
Marco
from?
from Montenegro.
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 yes.
We're going there this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you mind?
No. Hello,
Oh, yes.
Montenegro.
Well, lots of bikers, which is good for me because I love my bikes. And lots of people.
Yeah.
But just look at this. Okay. So yeah, there's a cafe restaurant here as well. There's all the bikers that overtook us. Well, that was a lot of fun. We're just about to head off again, but it's quite windy actually, so I'm not sure how much you heard out there. But yeah, lots of people seeing us coming up the hill, and it's probably quite funny actually watching the truck come up, and then sort of stopping and had a chat, and yeah, quite a bit of interest. So, and people from all over the place. There's a Harley Davidson tour. There's a motorcycle group from Spain. There's people from the Balkans. There's people from absolutely everywhere. So yeah, I think we're going to head on. We're actually going to stop in a little campsite tonight, which is about an hour from here. Izzy just tucking into Haribo's or licorice.
I've got 2.5 packets left.
Listen, you don't have to justify it to us, okay? Here we go. That is fantastic. Wow. I can't believe how quiet it is this side of the mountain, really.
No. And look at the mountains through there.
Well, this is spectacular. It's like, why do you not want to see this?
Yeah, we're alright height-wise.
Yeah, we're okay. Wow. Yeah. There you go, there's Izzy on the camera.
Are we going to get round there?
We are going to get round there. Of course we're going to get round there. Yeah. There's a fig tree on the left hand side there.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah, it is actually, yeah. Wow, that must have taken some cutting out
Yeah.
to make this tiny bit of road.
There's quite a flow of water on there actually. More fig trees. Well, I really enjoyed that. There's a good that's a camel, that's right.
Yeah.
So
Shame everyone see them in the wild.
donkeys.
It's really hazy, isn't it?
It is, yeah. We certainly haven't got the blue sky today. And then you've got the contrast with the flow of the water. All the trees, all the crops. We carry on heading northeast towards the high Atlas Mountains, gaining elevation, driving through the mountain villages and just enjoying this drive. Well, we're having the most incredible drive today. I mean, yeah, there's lots of greenery right here, but beyond that, you've got some huge mountains. I mean, it really is. It's so impressive here. You know, when you just take time to sort of look around you, we have time because the truck's slow. You just notice so much. I mean, there's quite a lot of wood being harvested here. There's loads and loads of ladies in work in the fields. There's people with donkeys. There's water reed being harvested. Yeah, it's just fascinating. I mean, just look at this as I'm talking.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty special. You kind of get what I was saying earlier about the rock formations and the layers and the sedimentary base, and you can really see it here as you drive through. There's quite a flow on there actually.
There is.
So we just stopped for a moment for a photograph, and I said I'll just pull in here, and honestly I'll spin the camera around because look at this. Well, we couldn't help but stop and just appreciate this. It's just something else. Well, we've come out the other side and it just feels completely different. There's meadows. There's mountains in the distance, but here we've got little streams trickling through and lots of farmed land. Well, and true Phil and Izzy style, we're going to press on today. We actually stopped at the little auberge where we're going to, hopefully stay for the night, but it was tiny. There was maybe space for 1 or 2 vans, small vans, but it just wasn't suitable. So the guy was really nice. He gave us some water. He spoke really good English, and he gave us some really great local knowledge in terms of the road. We were trying to ascertain whether or not the road, which hasn't really been open up until last year, was sealed or not sealed, or
even possible.
If there was snow. So anyway, we spoke to him and he was great. So he said, yeah, it is possible. There's a stage where it's really, really narrow. So a single track, there are possible places, and you've got to look, way in advance to see if anything's coming, and just sort of give way where you can. So the weather's good. He just said today, you're fine, carry on. So that is our plan. So it's about, it's not far, it's only about 80 k's, but it's going to take about 3 hours. We're going to stop for lunch shortly. There's just nothing out here, really and truly nothing.
No.
So we'll stop for lunch, we'll press on, and then it's, we might not even sort of get to our
Chill. I don't know that we'll get there today. If we see a really good spot, I think we'll just stop.
So yeah, the sort of destination we're going to is Imilchill, but we're happy to sort of stay somewhere between here and there overnight. If we find somewhere that's suitable, that's what we'll do.
Well, I'm actually really glad that I'm out here taking the video, because that bridge is very narrow, and although Phil is convinced it's solid, it is very narrow. Oh wow, that's narrow. Oh, I don't like that. I'm really glad I'm out of the truck and have lived to tell the tale. Low cables. I just want to be like on a mountain road and away from all the buildings and stuff.
Yeah, we will be. Don't worry, soon enough. Okay, so we've just stopped for lunch. We found somewhere flat, which was a bit of a challenge actually. But what a day. I mean, honestly, I mean, I think we always talk about, you know, we love Morocco, but then you have these days and you're like, yeah, wow, this is really, really special. I mean, if you make the effort to get off the beaten track, it always rewards. I mean, yes, the roads are, you know, bumpy in places. Yeah, there's people sort of, you know, with a hand out sometimes, you know, looking, particularly kids, looking for...
Not sure I understand.
Is his phone kicking off?
Sorry.
Looking for, you know, sweets or clothes or whatever it is. But, you know, you look at the sort of the natural scenery and, you know, all the old buildings and the daily life really as you drive past. And I always feel really privileged. You stop for lunch and you just sort of have time to regroup and then you sort of head on again. And we are terrible for pressing on. We always say, oh, we'll do a couple of hours and then we'll stop, and then we'll keep going for a bit more. And today is one of those days. But it was a day when it just sort of keeps on giving, and I think there's a lot more to come. So yeah, I love it. So sorry, I'm holding the camera. There we go.
All right, you have the camera. It's fine.
So that is lunch today.
That's my lunch most days, actually.
It is.
Bit of cheese, some
I
walnuts.
don't know if you can see actually. Look at that.
I'm surprised by how many little villages there were on the road.
The loads.
We're this high into the mountains. We're 2,000, maybe 2,200 meters at the moment. It must be so difficult here in the winter.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think we're coming out of that now and into the sort of like barren mountains, really.
Yeah, but then there's places where it's so green, and you know you've got all the fields that are being, you know, worked, farmed, all the fig trees, you know, all the fruit trees, all the nut trees. It's just fascinating, really, as you sort of drive through.
There still is the river. There's still a valley, isn't there? That's obviously got lots of water in it.
Yeah, of course.
That helps with the crops. I was just looking to see. I think we've got a bit of a pass coming up actually, because the road gets very
No, we know it gets narrow.
Narrow and very twisty bendy.
Yeah.
Twisty bendy?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's what we've got coming after lunch.
Yeah, that's it. I love that. Okay.
Let's hope that's not the bit where there's no passing places and it's narrow track.
Oh, can't wait to
that
get
would
on
be
that.
really bad.
Right, for now, let's have lunch. Yeah, there's a lot of rubbish, isn't there? Sadly.
I think the river's been up here. That's what leaves the rubbish behind. That's why it's all up in the bushes and things.
Yeah.
Alright there.
Yeah, we're fine. It's close, but fine. Some people have a little lie down,
Yep.
little afternoon snooze.
I think that's parsley going down there.
Yeah, I think there's a number of. I thought there was carrots as well.
Oh yeah, maybe.
You can see all this is farmed actually to the left. There's loads of water coming down there.
But the guy said before, normally there's no water in this river up here.
He did say that. Yeah.
It's only because they've had such a lot of snow.
There was not. He said there was no rainfall last year at all, and it was dry. So, but it's looking very lush out there right now.
It is.
Breathe in, breathe out.